Hi there, welcome to the next episode on implementing event delegation model. So this is the part 3 of our event delegation model series. So in the last session we saw how to implement an simple event delegation model using AWT. So I promised you to show one more program in the event delegation model. So today we shall see one more program on event delegation model and understand how this program is working. So let us directly jump into Eclipse and run this program and first observe the output. Okay, now the program is ready here. You can see that I have already written this program. So let's not worry about the logic of this program. I'll explain you the logic of this program step by step. But before that, first let's execute this program and see what output we are going to get. I want you to observe the console window of the Eclipse as well and see what output we are going to get when we actually execute this program. So let's go and execute this now. Okay, you're getting this frame and you're getting these three buttons: red, green and blue. So these are your buttons, and you can see that the buttons are aligned horizontally one after the other in a straight line. So when I hit on the red button, or when I click on the red button, see the background color of the frame changes to red. And observe the console, it says that you clicked red button. Similarly, when I click on the green button, you can see that the background color changes to green. I can see that in the console it says you clicked green button. Similarly, when I click on the blue button, it says that it basically sets the background color to blue, and it displays the message you clicked blue button. So this is one more example of event handling in Java. So now we shall see how this program is working, and we shall see the different aspects of this particular program. So I think now you are comfortable with the output. Now we shall go and diagnose the important elements of this program and see step by step how to write and execute this program and its working functionality. Okay, there you go. This is what we have seen in the program execution. So initially we had an GUI screen which had three buttons, that is red, green and blue. Now when I hit on the red button, or when I clicked on the button which is labeled as red, the background was set to red. I mean the frame background was set to red. Similarly, when I clicked on the green button, the frame background was set to green, and when I clicked on the blue button, the frame background was set to blue. So what is the program behind this? So we shall go and inspect that particular program now. Okay, this is the program which is actually been written in order to generate that particular output. We have seen this before, that you have to import two packages. One is java.awt.star and the second one is java.awt.event.star. You know that we are going to import java.awt.star in order to generate, or in order to create a GUI interface, and we are going to import java.awt.event.star for action listeners. Now we are creating a class called button demo. Button demo is the name of the class, which extends the frame class from the java.awt package, and it implements the action listener. So remember that action listener is an interface which belongs to java.awt.event package. Now within this class called button demo, I am creating three variables of the type button, which we call it as RB, BB and GB. Probably that could be a red button, a blue button and a green button. Now I'm having a constructor called as a button demo. So we all know that a constructor is called when an object is created, and we also know that the constructor will have the same name as that of the class. So the class name is button demo. So naturally the constructor name is also given as button demo. Now I'm using a class called flow layout and I'm creating an instance called F1. Now this is something new which you have not done in our earlier programs. So this is a kind of layout for frame, especially for organizing the buttons in a particular order. So you saw the output that there were three buttons. One is a button with a label red, and the second one with the label green, and the third one with the label blue. Now all these three buttons were put horizontally, one beside the other. To do that, if you want to place the component horizontally within a frame, I make use of this layout called as a flow layout. So now I am using an object called F1 of the flow layout, and I am setting the layout by passing this object F1, and I am creating three buttons, that is RB, GB and BB, and I am passing the values red, green and blue. When I am creating the buttons, you see that button is a constructor. So what happens on these three buttons, the string red, green and blue will be actually printed on the button. Now we know that every button we should have to be registered with the action listener, because action listener is an interface which basically tracks the event of that button, or it listens to the button event. So here the button event is the click event. So how do I register this? We have seen this in the earlier program also. So we make use of this keyword called this. This means it belongs to the current object. So here the current object is RB. So it's a button object. So I say RB.ActionListener, which means that I am registering the button object with the action listener, and I am registering the button object called GB with the action listener, and I am also registering the button object BB with the action listener. So these three objects which you are created, RB, GB, BB objects, are the button components. They are actually registered with the action listener. Now after doing this, I have to add this buttons to my frame. So that is the reason I say add RB, add GB and add BB. So you know that add function is used to basically add the component to the frame. So the three components, button components, RB, GB and BB are added to the frame. You are setting the title of the frame as button in action. So the frame would have a title. You are setting the size of the frame, and you are setting the visibility of the frame to true. So that completes your constructor function. Now one thing we have to do here is we have to really override the methods inside this action listener interface. So we know that action listener is an interface, and this action listener interface will have a method called action perform. So you need to override this action performed. So what do you write in that action perform? You are going to actually write the logic for the event. When the click event occurs on a button, what should happen? That logic has to be written in this action performed method. Now what we are doing in this action performed method, it is taking two parameters. One is it is taking the action event class, and it is taking the object. So now inside that I am creating a variable called string. It is str is the name of the variable, which is of the type string, and I am associating with the get action command. So the object, whenever you click on this object, for example you have an object called red button. So when I click on that red button object, so what happens? An click event is generated. So when a click event is generated, what happens? That buttons get action command method will retrieve the string value of that particular button. So what is written on that particular button? It is red. So that means that the red value will be actually stored in the str. So that means when you actually hit on the red button, or the button which is marked as red, so what happens? It is going to print that you clicked the red button, and you are going to now you are going to display the which button is being clicked, but at the same time you also need to change the background color of the form to red. So how do I do that? I am having an if else if ladder. I am checking if str dot equals to red. I'm checking whether the value of this str is equal to red. If it is equal to red, then you are setting the background of the frame to red. Suppose if you click on the green button, then what happens? It will basically get me the value of str as green, because because on the green button your value is taken as green. So then what happens when you actually when this command is executed, system.out.println, it says you click the green button. Then in the if else if ladder, the first if evaluates to false, but the second if evaluates to true. So then what happens? It will set the background color to green. So like this, you are overriding this action performed method of the action listener class. So once you are done with this, then we have to go to the main method. Main method is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is you have to create an instance of this button demo class. So when you create an instance of this button demo class using this new button demo, you know that the constructor is being called. When the constructor is called, all these gets initialized, and finally you are going to get the output. So this is how you basically write a simple GUI application using action listeners in Java. So hope you understood this session. Okay, thank you for watching this session. I will see you in the next session, where we are going to start with swing components. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.